End of the day, I've been disappointed in some of the criminal referrals that are collecting dust on Attorney General Bondi's desk. I've made that very clear with the White House. I'm hopeful that we'll see some action soon on the criminal referrals that range everywhere from Dr. Fauci to the Biden family influence peddling scheme.
Republican House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer is not the only Republican who is fed up with Attorney General Pam Bondi. In fact, a new report in the Wall Street Journal exposes what President Trump really thinks of his former lawyer, now his attorney general. And let's just say that it isn't the review that she's hoping for, Cenk.
No, it most certainly isn't. But why Donald Trump is throwing her under the bus is really interesting. And it also shows you why there's literally no one in the country that could do that job for Trump. Can't wait to tell you why. Let's hear the facts first.
I certainly would not sign up for that job under any circumstance. But nonetheless, the Wall Street Journal asserts that Trump has been complaining to his aides over the past few weeks about how weak and ineffective Pam Bondi really is. His internal complaints are part of Trump's efforts to essentially pressure the DOJ to prioritize his demands. Basically, lawfare against his political opponents. And what just happened with Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, should bolster that argument. And his complaints also include the fact that his complaints about her have increased in recent months. Like he was kind of taking some jabs at her, but according to this Wall Street Journal report, the complaints have increased significantly. So chief among his grievances, they write, is what he sees as Bondi's failure to quickly and effectively prosecute the investigators who had pursued him for years, including former FBI Director James Comey and New York Democratic Attorney General Letitia James. The officials and others familiar with his complaints said both criminal cases were dismissed, by the way, back in November by a judge who said the Trump aide who secured the indictment had been improperly appointed to her post. Trump has wanted to see the case or cases continue quickly. He has also heard from conservative activists and influencers criticizing Bondi and collected similar social media posts that he has asked other aides about, the official said. And we know how impressionable Trump is. He'll usually go along with the person who has his ear. And if he sees some of his supporters, taking shots at Pam Bondi, he's more likely to listen to it, especially if he's unhappy with the fact that she hasn't engaged in enough lawfare on his behalf. Now, it's even gotten to a point where Trump is trying to figure out ways to appoint special counsels at the Department of Justice because of what he sees as slow progress. He's also angry at Bondi's handling of the Epstein files, which I'm sure he is. When White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles told Vanity Fair that Bondi whiffed on her handling of the files, Trump told staff that he agreed with Wiles, two officials said. And now, remember, he's not agreeing with Wiles because Bondi said she had the goods and then engaged in a cover-up. Trump is upset that Bondi said she had the goods to begin with because he never wanted to release the Epstein files. And in fact, currently, he's not complying with the order to release the Epstein files. Let's just be clear about that. Now, Bondi's support improved slightly in September to negative 17 points. Let me go to graphic 4 here because she has lost a lot of support from when she was initially announced as AG. So the Atlas Intel polling found that her popularity peaked in February of 2025 when 49% of people approved of her and 43% disapproved. In the months to follow, it steadily declined. And by August 2025, she had a net approval rating of negative 27 points, with 63% disapproving of her and 26% approving. So things are not good for Pam Bondi. A lot of disapproval aimed at her.
But there's two different things here, and I don't want people to get confused. MAGA's upset at her, and the general American people are upset with her, as you see in that polling, because she wouldn't release the Epstein files. But that's not why Trump is mad at her. Trump is the one who told her not to release the Epstein files. So it's a little apples and oranges. So he's like, oh yeah, and MAGA's mad at her, that's making me mad. No, but they're mad at her for agreeing with you, right? And so I thought when I first saw this story, Anna, that it was going to focus on, she bungled it by saying that she had the Epstein files on her desk. And that led to so much more of a brouhaha and a bigger scandal. And that she should have never said that, and she should have tried to bury the Epstein files from day one. I thought that that's where this story was gonna go, that that's what Trump was thinking. No, as usual, I have underestimated how insane Donald Trump is. And even me, and I think he's like max insane. So why do I say that? So it turns out he is upset about Epstein, although that doesn't make any sense. He's the one telling her to do the unpopular thing. But then you go to James Comey, Letitia James, and Jerome Powell. He's like, he wanted them arrested earlier. If you don't know, that statement that he put out on True Social where he was like, the Attorney General or Pam should really arrest these people. It turns out he meant to text her, but the moron is accidentally put a post on True Social instead of texting her. So then they had to pretend that, oh yeah, no, that's perfectly legal. Me ordering the Justice Department to arrest my political enemies. No, the president is supposed to remove from the Justice Department so that the Justice Department could actually just do the rule of law and not be biased by politicians. So, but he wants her to arrest them, so she goes to do it, but she can't find any real lawyer to do it because there's no freaking evidence, right? In fact, since the first charges, they've tried to bring up James Comey to 2 more grand juries. And there's an old saying in law, you could indict a ham sandwich. What that means is in grand jury testimony, there is no defense. So you can almost indict anyone you want. They're presenting this evidence to grand jury after grand jury about how James Comey did something illegal. And they're like, no, even without any defense at all, we don't see what the hell you're talking about. So he's and then so since no real lawyer will do it, she finds a personal lawyer of Donald Trump or a dentist or a barber or something, sends her in to arrest these people. And the judge goes, what the hell are you doing? You're not even an accredited lawyer within the context of this case. And he kicks him out. This is an impossible task. No one can ask to do these things that have no basis in fact. But then if all that wasn't bad enough, finally he asks her, you have to find and prosecute the people who stole the 2020 election. But there isn't anyone who stole the 2020 election. So you can't find it and you can't arrest people that did it because nobody did it. So she's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Exactly. So Donald
You say no. You say no. When he's thinking about appointing you to that position, you say no. But everyone is drunk on power and you think you're gonna win. You're not gonna win. You lost, and here you are.
Yeah, and by the way, the next attorney general will have the same problem. Every single attorney general that Donald Trump puts into office, he will then later crap on and say, I'm very disappointed in them. Because he's like, why don't you just make it up and just grab up all my political opponents and say they stole the election with Hugo Chavez? You're like, but I have to prove it in court and I don't have any freaking evidence. Oh, you're fired. I'm very disappointed in you. So he's gonna do that to the next attorney general, I guarantee it, and the one after that, and the one after that. Because guys, here's what we're not getting. The brother is mentally disturbed. And at this point, I think there's some chance he really thinks he won the 2020 election. Cuckoo for frickin' Cocoa Puffs. 2026 just started, and like a lot of us, I've got some big personal goals. Here at TYT, we believe in changing the world for the better. But to do that, I'm gonna need the right team of people to make it happen. Let's be real, sometimes it can be hard to find the right people who are that good at what they do. It's like if you're hiring for your business, how do you find the best people for all the different roles on your team? Well, it turns out it's actually kind of easy because of ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/TYT. It's a great offer. Their matching technology works fast, so you find top talent without wasting any time. You can instantly see how many qualified candidates are in your area and reach them directly. That's why ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site. Let ZipRecruiter help you find the best people for all of your roles. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself, just go to this exclusive web address right now to try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter.com/TYT. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/TYT. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.